A Soviet cook was preparing a meal for the soldiers when a German tank suddenly approached from a distance. Realizing it was the enemy, he quickly ducked out of sight. But even with no visible targets, the German tank opened fire wildly. When it crashed into his field kitchen, spilling all the food he had carefully prepared, the cook snapped. Furious, he grabbed an axe, leapt onto the tank, and began hacking away at it while shouting furiously. The German crew, startled, stayed inside and fired blindly through the viewports, but it was useless. The cook sat down in front of the machine gun and began slamming it with the axe. After sustained shooting and the heat generated by the barrel, he actually managed to bend the machine gun out of shape. Now aware of his position, the Germans tried to shake him off by speeding up, but the cook held firm. Thinking quickly, he took off his apron and covered the periscope. Then he removed his sleeves and blocked other openings, completely blinding the tank crew. In their panic, the tank crashed into a tent. The cook chopped his way out of the canvas with the axe. Afraid the Germans might realize he was alone, he began making as much noise as possible, swinging wildly, stomping around, and yelling, creating the illusion that a full Soviet unit had surrounded them. Then he lit a bundle of straw and shoved it into the tent, filling it with choking smoke. The Germans inside began coughing and tearing up. To seal the deal, the cook shouted in broken German, "Bring anti-tank grenades, now!" That was the final straw. Terrified, the Germans opened the hatch and surrendered on the spot. That was exactly what the cook had been waiting for. He aimed his rifle at their backs and ordered them to hand over their weapons. When they finally turned around, they were stunned. Their fierce attacker was a cook, and he was alone. But by then, it was too late. The cook couldn't help but laugh out loud at their faces. Later, when the Soviet troops returned to the camp, they spotted the German tank and thought they were under attack. Everyone hit the ground and took cover. But when the commander peeked through the grass, he found only the cook, standing beside the tank, holding a rifle and shouting, "Come on out, dinner's ready." The soldiers were stunned. Only after confirming he wasn't a hostage did they come out. When they heard that he had captured 4 German soldiers and seized a tank without firing a single bullet, they couldn't believe it. Even more impressive, he had already prepared a feast to celebrate the victory. This unbelievable story is actually based on real events. So, do you know the name of this clever and fearless cook?